Okay, so that was my husband about something for Facebook. Anyways, but yeah, so I'm sitting there watching, just like kind of staring at my son and the dog, um, and I can feel it. I can feel like the almost, I guess, the best way to explain it, at least to my husband, which is who I'm usually trying to explain it to. So that's like kind of pulling his the way he thinks, but so like when the anxiety building of uh, only certain things, like an elevator, like you can feel, because you're getting also the physical uh, what's that word, like when you're going up in like to the elevator up to like the CN Tower, like it's a super big elevator, you feel that height difference, like over the bridge, like anything high, you feel like that elevation change, and it's like it's an anxiety type feeling that pretty much everybody gets. You feel it. Like some people are super overwhelmed by it, but even if you're not, you still feel it. But it's kind of like that feeling. And I'm just like focusing, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going, and you can't stop it, right? And that's what I'm trying to explain. It's like that feeling that you feel it, but even though you can not freak out, but it doesn't change that it's happening. So anyways, I'm happening, and yeah, and so all of a sudden I can hear her voice, my birther's voice, and she's like, what are you an effing Arnie, R word, and like over and over, and like in different contexts, almost like when people do the video montages of like an actor's like people do it all the time, like they'll like pull actors saying different things, and like so that you can hear like over and over again, and people do it for like the same thing, so you can hear how many times they say the same thing, they do it, whatever, basically that, but all it's like I just hear her. I mean, sometimes it has visual kind of overlay, almost like a screen, like a, like, like yeah, basically any screen that you can see, like a projection, but then like you can still see what's behind it kind of thing. So like it's kind of like in here, between like the camera and I, it would be like a floating like projection here that you could see through. That's kind of where my eyes see it, but it's not really there. Like I'm not seeing it, but I am, and then I can still see through. Anyways, I'm rambling about this now, but but yeah, so that happened, and I have no idea how long that was because I hadn't looked at the time beforehand. But anyways, that was that, and yeah, so now I know why I say it to myself. Also that it's probably really, really not okay that she did so much, because this was like the stuff that it was about wouldn't even be considered okay to say something of that caliber anyways, especially not to your own child of like 12, but yeah, so I realized that, and then kind of like in conjunction with that, I was like, well, that's I just lost my train of thought. Oh yes, about how I don't know, I don't like to say, I feel weird saying it because it feels like I'm undermining those who have an actual disability. No, it's not a disability though, so I don't know why I said that. An actual, like, a diagnosis, that's the word I wanted. The actual diagnosis, but I am pretty sure I'm autistic, and it explains so much. I also feel I have ADHD, but that's also usually in conjunction with, but because my main practitioner that I see, and as well as the psychologist that I see, is they're both fairly certain as well. However, they're unable to like they're not the ones that would be able to diagnose and confirm. And apparently it is super difficult when you also have extreme childhood trauma. Yay. So I don't know if it would ever be completely available to be diagnosed or able to be diagnosed, but so I'm still kind of like weird about saying it because of that, not because I don't feel like I am or that I feel bad that I am, because I don't. And so like that's also something I had a flashback about earlier, where I have a lot of things that I have had over my life, like issue or conflict of interest with somebody, or like confusion over, like I get upset about something because I'm not explaining it properly, I guess. And so basically, like just for example, like I say I don't like something, and that person assumes I don't like it because I think it's like I'm like if it's in context with something racial or something like that, they assume that I'm like you know, no, I'm not like you know, that I'm homophobic or I'm racist or anything like that, for or at least in like a tiny bit when it comes to something, but really it's because it triggers things for me. Like, so it's anything, it's like whatever it is, I say sorry, you know, I don't want to do that, or I don't like that, or no, you know, like when it comes to anything food, so cultures, anything like different, that like, I mean, I love different cultures and I love different foods in certain contexts, because I have those triggers and I don't really know how to explain that properly, and obviously it's difficult to just talk about that, is just open up about it, like to anybody, whatever, because usually that freaks people out. I guess that would work too, but I also feel that I shouldn't have to overwhelm myself, and basically, because if I talk about the trigger, it will trigger the trigger, so then I'll have all the flashbacks and like I'll be emotionally drained, and sometimes I'm just not able to. I have 3 kids, I have a lot of things I have to do. I have to do my best to avoid triggers as best I can until I'm able to control that, be in a controlled situation, at home, typically, like by myself, after smoking, in my room, or something like that, where I'm able to just kind of write it out or something. But if I haven't smoked or I'm overwhelmed, having a flashback can be brutal. So see, this is the rambling circling that is also attributed or associated, that's the word, associated with autism, that I've done my whole life. So I don't even know where I was. Basically, yeah, so the misunderstanding, like it's, so I don't want to bring it up, but then I also want to, and it would be great to have some sort of thing that I can say. It would be, maybe I should make a card. I'll just make a card that says, oh, don't talk to me. No. But I don't know. I'll figure something out, I'm sure, eventually. But yeah, so I get misunderstood a lot about that and about everything. And so that's why I say things like that in the videos or when I'm writing. I'm like, I mean this, not this, and this is why, because I don't want you to feel bad, and that's also something to do with everything. But yeah, basically, flashbacks suck, and yeah, then I had a little, after I realized all of that, I realized that oh, I didn't even say what I was thinking. It's been almost 10 minutes and I still haven't said anything. Basically, I kind of came to the realization that I kind of think maybe she knew that or to a degree, like she knew there was something different, and maybe like she kind of like, if she had more resources, she would have known that I was most likely autistic, as well. I am autistic, and like I'm pretty sure. But so like it's kind of frustrating, because I kind of feel like that might have been a connection there, that maybe that's why she used that word. I don't know. Maybe I'm spitballing. Anyways, but yeah, so basically it's been 10 minutes plus the video before my husband called, and, yeah, I hate flashbacks, and now I have to go to baseball, and, I have people that I can talk to where I don't need to have the mask, which is good, but, I perfected it, so, I'm good to, put it on because I've had a smoke, which I'm going to finish now because I had put it out because I was talking, and, yeah, we're going to go to baseball, and